Good evening, folks. This is Ryan from the Grumpy Guy Show for episode number 37. You can't drink until you subscribe. As you can tell by the title, we talk a lot about subscriptions, as well as a little bit more, so stay tuned.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Grumpy Guy Show. I'm Derek McAllister.
And I'm Ryan McAllister.
So tonight we may have a short episode, and this time for real, depending on how much I get going on things. I only have a few topics, and I think they're all kind of short, but yeah, we'll see what happens. You know? But Ryan, don't forget, we're kind of changing the format. It's not always about complaining.
I know.
Any kind of events, you know?
I've just been distracted for the past week.
Alright. Yeah. You'll have to fix that. So what do you say we get into the first one?
Sure, what do we got?
So we're going to start out with something. So I watch a podcast called All About Android on the Twit network. And I've liked I like the show for the most part. Sometimes I have problems with their attitude about things. Like, oh, I don't use a case on my phone because if it breaks, I'll just buy a new one. And that's kind of, to me, that's kind of arrogant, to be honest with you. But so, I'm just like, all right, well, if that's what you want to do, then I guess that's what you do. But, the other day, I'm a little behind with them, just to be clear, I'm a little behind with watching them, and sorry, I'm trying to start something up here, and I'm not having very good success. All right, so I'll skip that. Yes, folks, I'm not so good at multitasking anymore. Just too much going on at work, so I just, oof. Anyway, back to the show, off of the sidetrack. So, watching them, I think it was 2 weeks ago. No, I watched it last week. It was from the beginning of the year, and somebody wrote in, and they were saying, just because at the end of every episode they read some emails and respond to them, and one of the things that they're always saying on the show is support your devs, buy the app, don't bypass things, and. I'm all for supporting developers. Completely for that. But what this person was writing in about was subscriptions. And how they don't want to pay for a subscription for these apps. They want to use it just once and kind of let it go. And got a sneeze coming on. Anyhow,
first time in show history.
Yeah. So this person said, I want to support the devs, but I don't want to constantly pay a subscription fee just for this app. And if that's what it's going to take, then I'm going to go someplace else and I'm going to use a different app. And so, the hosts were going on, and they just brought in a new host who's a developer. And what she was saying was, I understand where he's coming from, but if this developer that you don't want to pay a subscription to has recurring costs, they've got to recuperate those somehow. And they were going on and saying, well, it's just the cost of a cup of coffee. So you give up one coffee every month, and you can afford this app. But the problem is, every time you turn around, somebody says, "Well, it's just a one cup of coffee. You can afford this app. It's just give up a cup of coffee." And all I can think is, all right, first and foremost, I don't buy coffee. I mean, I can't drink it, but I don't go to
Mm.
places to buy coffee and tea or something like that.
I don't
So,
buy coffee either. I hate the stuff.
yeah, but even beyond that, somebody could say, "Oh, well, you spend more than that when you go out to eat." Okay, but food is something that's required, so
Mm-hmm.
not the same. But, you know, why am I supposed to give something up for that? You know?
I don't get it.
But my bigger problem is if I'm constantly giving up these cups of coffee for every new subscription that's out there, you know, pretty soon I'm not going to have any money to have that cup of coffee. But not only am I not going to have any money for that cup of coffee, I'm not going to have any money for anything. And I get it. The developers have to eat. They have to, they need food on their tables as well. But what needs to happen is we need to go back to the model that there was before Apple made the 50-cent app super popular. You know, make an app, have it at a value that's going to get you until you sell a new version of that app. But the problem there goes right back to the way that the app stores, whether you're talking about Google or you're talking about Apple, it's the way that they do things. If you aren't going to make an app and say, okay, well, this is app version 1 or app version 2020, and then the next year you come out with app version 2021, if you're not going to do that and then have it as a completely new app, you can't recharge people for it. And the problem is the way that these stupid things have been designed is you are going to buy their crap. You're going to buy this app from Apple, Apple, Google. You can even get Amazon, but
Whoever.
whatever. You're going to buy the app, and then for that $2, you're expecting to get updates forever. It's not right, and this is all about Google and Apple taking money and gaining money,
Mm-hmm.
because the way that it works, they're actually they're part of the problem that there is with these developers not getting money. It goes right back to the same problem there is with with music and Spotify, all the streaming services where artists say, "Oh, I don't get any money. I don't make money off of this." Well, first and foremost, that's your fault for not negotiating with your manager better. Second, it's the price you pay. But third, I mean, come on, make up your mind. If you don't like the price, go somewhere else. But the
You
problem,
can do that. There's competition.
yeah, there's competition. You can remove it's your right to remove your music from a certain service. It's not smart because money is money, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you're not able to buy a $40 million mansion and you're stuck with only a $20 million house, you know, I mean, that doesn't mean that you're not being paid. That means that you want more for nothing, but the problem is, as I said, Apple and Google take huge cuts from these developers. So yeah, maybe they sell you an app for $2.50, but Apple and Google both take 30% of that. Period. So I don't know what that is. I mean, I really don't care what it is. It's just a lot more than what these developers can continue to go with. And I the title of this topic is subscription hell, And it's
Mm-hmm.
because the way that we're moving, everything is going to be done by subscription. You're not going to own anything anymore. The laptop that you're using, not going to own it. Nope, you're going to
Nope.
subscribe to it. And then, of course, if something fails on the laptop, it's going to be your fault. You're going to have to pay for it because, well, it's your laptop. Well, no, it's not. I'm
Yep. No,
subscribing
it's
to
not.
it.
I'm subscribed to it.
Yeah, because that's what's happened. I mean, part of the problem with a lot
I won't
of
own these glasses soon. I'll be
yeah,
subscribed to them.
yeah,
My next pair I'll be subscribed to.
yeah. But that's the way that it's headed. I mean, we talked a few weeks ago about streaming services and how they're not actually good for consumers.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of what's happening in the every other space is we're starting up with these subscriptions. Each one of those streaming services is a subscription, a separate subscription.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine if, like with Discovery Plus, I wasn't gonna buy it, and then all of a sudden we were like, well, there's something on there that I want to watch, so we got it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And of course, I like it because I'm paying for it. And I paid the extra $1 per month to get it ad free.
Mm-hmm.
That's value to me because there's quite a bit on there that we watch. But,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like Disney Plus, I'm not going to subscribe to that because there's not a lot on there that I want to watch. You
Mm-hmm.
know? So, but the answer that you always hear is, well, it's just a cup of coffee. Yeah, maybe it is just a
A
cup of
cup of
coffee.
coffee that you'll soon have to subscribe to.
Yeah, maybe it is just a cup of coffee, but those cups of coffee add up pretty damn quick. And it's
You
just,
can't drink
it's,
it until you've subscribed.
yeah, that's it.
That's my one funny thing for the day.
Oh my. But anyway, so I mean that's kind of the direction we're headed though is a subscription hell. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and these developers, like I said, I completely and totally understand that they need to eat as much as everybody else. But what needs to
Yeah,
happen,
subscribe to the food first.
but what really needs to happen though is we need to go back to the model where these people can sell it directly and they can sell it at a good price, a solid price, and you have a version and you paid for that version, until for however long the developer states he's going to support that version.
Mm-hmm.
And then once it gets to the end of that, you have to buy a new version. Either that or they can have a small fee for upgrades. You know, but the model that we're in right now, where Google and Apple control everything, and if you want to have, especially Apple, because on Android things can be easily side-loaded,
Mm-hmm.
but on Apple, that's it. You want to use something, it's either got to be a web app or it's got to be in the App Store. Plain and
Mm-hmm.
simple. It's got to be one of those two, and you can't you can't get away from that. And I truthfully don't feel that that's right. And it's the EU is actually looking into forcing them to open things up. We'll see how it works. We'll see how well it works. You know. But anyway, so how about that? One topic, 15 minutes.
Hmm.
And
Halfway there.
truthfully, what I'd really like to do is cut us down to, two, maybe three topics a week and just go really in
Okay.
depth on one, because
Ah.
Yeah, I mean, really go in depth on both of them, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Because just the quick cutters, we can throw those in here and there, but
Yeah.
everything else is, I mean, dragging things out for too far is just nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Just like this next topic.
Mm-hmm. What's this one?
So this
Do
will
we have
be,
to subscribe to it first?
no. However, this one will actually be a short topic, just because it's just something that really bugs me, and it's short.
Mm-hmm.
So recently, New York State has legalized online gambling.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, every other commercial you have, I'm sorry, not every other, every third commercial, you get you get your lawyers, then you get your car dealers, and now, whether you're watching sports or not, you get online betting apps.
Hmm.
I mean, it's like if you're not getting one of those three, you're actually watching the show that you're looking at.
Yeah.
It's utterly ridiculous. Oh, and look, you can spend $5 to win 280. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason these companies have as much money as they do to start advertising to you. It's because the house always wins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I get that they got to get the word out there and everything, but anybody who really wants to bet already knows about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, no change is needed there.
Hmm.
Anyway, so like I said, that's a short one.
Transition.
Ooh. Yeah, someday I'm gonna have to get back to multitasking so that I can put in like a transition sound for us or something.
uh,
Oh my.
do we have to subscribe to this last topic?
Yes. But no. So several years ago, T-Mobile led the charge of getting rid of cell phone contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you buy your phone, stay on us as long as you want. You want to leave us, go ahead. You own your phone, we don't care.
Hmm.
And of course, what ended up happening is Verizon and AT&T followed suit because they didn't have a choice. They were losing customers like us.
Mm-hmm.
So recently, well, not recently because my friend, he keeps his phones forever. So
Uh-huh.
I believe he's actually right now he's got his most recent phone is Galaxy S15 or something like that. I don't know. It's quite an old
Mm-hmm.
phone. Yeah, but he pays for his phone. He's on Verizon. He pays for
Mm-hmm.
his phones up front. Except the last time when he went in, they told him, "Oh no, you can't just buy the phone outright. You have to get a
You have to subscribe to it.
yeah, you gotta break it up into 24 monthly payments." And he said, "Well, that doesn't make any sense." And they said, "No, it's just the way that we're doing things." So then he looked at it and he's like, "Well, I don't care because it works out to the same. They weren't charging any extra for the phone or anything like that." So he said, "Whatever."
Mm-hmm.
So it was just announced recently
Mm-hmm.
because they had two different plans. They had a 24 month and a 48, I think it was, to
Mm-hmm.
pay off these phones, which some people need 48 months because these phones are expensive. Most phones that you're going to buy on Verizon are going to cost you around $1,000 minimum. But
Mm-hmm.
so this is why I say you have to subscribe, but you don't.
Hmm.
Because it's not a contract. Oh, no, no, no,
It's
no.
not.
No, it's not a contract. But
But it's a
you're
monthly payment plan.
yes, you're locked into a monthly payment plan because, well, that's what they want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
So recently, they announced that they're getting rid of all plans and they're moving them to 36 month. So
Mm-hmm.
here's the problem that I see with that. All right, you've got 36 months. Phone companies want you to replace your phone once every 2 years. Like not Verizon phone companies. I'm talking the actual manufacturers. They want you to replace your phone once a year.
Mm-hmm.
Twice, once every other year, okay, they can deal with that. They definitely do not want you going once every 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
which means, okay, so Verizon's going to make you pay over 3 years, which means you're either stuck with the phone for 3 years or after 2 years, you're going to pay it off and upgrade.
Mm.
So, let's see. You pay off the phone and then you upgrade, which means that Verizon still gets that 36 months worth of payments, and they start you on a new one that gets you locked in for another 36 months.
Hmm.
Huh, sounds kind of
Huh.
like a contract to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Sounds kind of like
am
a
I?
subscription to me.
There you go. And the worst part about it is these phone manufacturers. They just okay, yeah, whatever. Because they I mean, they're going to complain once, if people actually follow the 36 months, phone
Mm-hmm.
manufacturers are going to complain because they're not selling the phones. But,
Mm-hmm.
this is really, really going to hit those people who really enjoy the iPhone because, it's not so much lately, but it used to be that people would literally upgrade their iPhone every single year. No ifs, ands, or buts
Because the
about
new
it.
one came out.
Yeah, there were lines out the door at every Apple store every year for the new iPhone. Not
Mm-hmm.
so much like that anymore, but you know, there's still a lot of buzz. People still want to go out and they want to get the newest iPhone and they want to make sure that they're on the newest iPhone. It's
Mm-hmm.
and they do it every year, and I just find it ridiculous.
It is.
And the fact that Verizon has found a way to sucker you into paying them for two phones basically at the same time. I find it utterly ridiculous. They should not be able to say no. You can't buy a phone outright. You gotta rent it from us for 36 months.
Mm-hmm.
If I have the cash to buy a phone outright, I'm gonna buy the phone outright. I'm not gonna pay
Mm-hmm.
you and be stuck with your service for 36 months. Or if I cancel my service and continue to go on, which I'm sure there's something in the little contract that you sign because yes, they are contract free, but
Contract.
you actually sign a contract saying that you're going to pay for 36 months. But I'm
Also, it is
sure,
a contract.
yeah, yeah, it's just not a contract for the phone service. It's a contract for the phone. But I'm
Mm,
sure in that contract someplace it states that if you terminate your carrier services with them, you have to pay the phone in full. You have to pay the balance. So I don't know. And it kills me because you get these companies like Verizon, AT&T. I I haven't seen it on T-Mobile because I buy my phones elsewhere and bring them to T-Mobile.
mm-hmm.
But they put ads on these phones. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason they do that is so that they can make money. So they can reduce their cost on the purchase of the phone. Well, wait a minute. You're selling the phone for the same price that Samsung does, which means that Samsung's selling you the phone cheaper than they're selling it to me, which means you're making that money because if Samsung is charging me $1,000 for the phone and they're charging you 400, but you're charging me 1,000, that means you just made $600 on that sale.
Mm-hmm.
But then on top of that, if I buy it directly from Samsung, I don't have any of the carrier crapware on there, and I don't have any
Mm-hmm.
of the ads that carriers insist on putting on there. And I get my updates directly from Samsung, not from the carrier. Hmm.
Hmm.
So these phone company, these carriers think, oh well, hey, I got to put ads on there because I got to make money.
Mm-hmm.
But then they'll offer you $600, up to $600 to pay off your phone and end your current contract and join us. If you can afford that, then you can afford to give me $600 off a phone.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody worries about keeping existing customers. All they care about is getting new ones,
Mm.
because that's all that's ever reported when it comes to earnings is, oh, how
Yep.
many new subscribers have you gotten?
Subscribers.
Yeah, seems we're all about subscribers tonight, folks.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's gotta come to an end somehow.
It
And
does.
one of the reasons that I do like T-Mobile so much is because I can go directly to a phone manufacturer and buy the phone, not have to pay their stupid little $40 where they pretend to do something that I couldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have any of the bloatware on there. For example, the phone that I have, it's a Pixel 4 XL. I bought it directly from Google, and I get updates without the carrier interference. If I would have bought that through T-Mobile, like if I went into the T-Mobile store and bought it, first they would have charged me $40 to
Mm-hmm.
pretend that they're doing something that isn't going to happen automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as I sign into my phone, all of my information gets pulled in. So why am I paying them $40 to do that? Doesn't make sense. But
It doesn't.
then the other problem is any updates that Google tries to push out, they have to go to the carrier and say, okay, we want to send this update out, and then they have to wait before they can send it to those phones sold directly through the carrier. They have to wait until the carrier says, okay, go ahead. And because Apple sells so many phones and they were able to dictate terms to the carriers, they can do that directly without the carrier saying no. But with Android, Google was not able to do that. So what ended up happening is all the carriers could say, no, we're not going to let you update. So, that's part of the reason that there's so many problems with getting updates out on Android phones versus Apple. Part of it's also because the hardware isn't as tightly integrated. The whole "it just works" mantra from Apple.
Hmm.
But that also comes with a very locked down system. You can't do anything if
Mm-hmm.
Apple doesn't want you to.
Mm-hmm.
But oh well, folks. I think you hear the music starting up in the background. So
You're gonna have to subscribe to it.
yeah, yeah. Subscribe to the music.
Subscribe to the music, otherwise you won't hear it.
All right, folks.
Good night.
We'll see ya.